Here's a warm-up routine for before you go out into the theme parks to prevent and manage back pain. Dr. Nicholas Mercer, the theme park therapist with You Improve PT. So you woke up, you're excited. Today's the day that you're starting your theme park adventures. So like I've said in a lot of videos, there's going to be a lot of walking, a lot of activity. So if you have a history or think you may be likely to have an increase in back pain, or even if you're already having back pain, it's going to be really important for you to warm up the joints and the muscles of your hips and your lower back before you go out into the parks. So out in the parks, it's not really a smart idea to be laying on the ground doing your exercises. So a lot of the mobility exercises and activation exercises that would benefit you are better done before you go into the parks, either at your hotel or at home, depending on where you start your journey. So I have another video, which I will link in the card above, that takes you through the 4 phases of theme park preparedness. This would go into the preparation phase. So we're on the day of the park, but we're not at the park yet. We're just getting ready and prepared. Let's get into these exercises. The basic order that you're going to do these in are soft tissue mobilization, stretching, mobility, and then activation. So we'll start out with some soft tissue work. You may prefer to use a lacrosse ball, a foam roller, or a massage gun, whatever you have with you and whatever you found works best on certain areas. The main areas we're going to focus on are the hip flexors and the piriformis. So what I like to do to start out is take a lacrosse ball, lie on the ground, put it right under my hip here, search around for some tender spots, and I already found one right there, right where my piriformis is, and just try to relax over that ball. Try to get that muscle to ease up. You may feel that muscle twitching a little bit, that's okay. We're just going to hang out here for 30 seconds to a minute, basically until that pain starts to alleviate, and then find a new spot on the back of your hips to try to get those relaxed. The next place we're going to do it is on the hip flexors on the front of your leg. So if you're using a lacrosse ball, all you do is flip over to the other side, get that right on your hip here. And the same thing as we did with the piriformis, we're just going to find a tender spot and sink down into that. And that's a little painful for me, so I'm going to hold that there, wait for that to ease up, try to get relaxed over that ball, and then I'll go find another space where it's more tender and painful. Overall, I'll spend about 5 minutes on soft tissue mobilization before we get into the stretching exercises. The first stretch we're going to do is a piriformis stretch. Simply put, you're just going to lie on your back, cross one leg over the other, pull that knee into your opposite chest. You should feel the stretch deepen your hip right through here. We'll hold that for about 30 seconds, and then we'll switch sides. So regardless of whether one side feels tighter or not, we want to do both sides just because over time we want them to even out. Next, we're going to stretch the hip flexors, and basically all you're going to do is go into a kneeling position. You can keep your hand on the ground, and you're going to push that hip forward here, okay? Don't worry too much about getting your torso upright. We really want to focus here on feeling a stretch in the front of the hip. And again, just like the piriformis stretch, we'll hold this for 30 seconds. Do it a couple times on each side. So overall, the stretching should take you about 5 or 6 minutes. So now we'll go into some mobility exercises, and this is a little more to get the joints moving better versus trying to lengthen the muscles. So what you're going to do, this is called a cat-cow or a cat-camel. Don't ask me why, I'm not really sure. So on all fours here, you're going to make sure your spine is in neutral so it's pretty flat. First thing you're going to do is you're going to extend through the back, try to look up at the ceiling, and then we'll do the opposite, pushing down, letting that back flex. Right, and we'll just hold for 5 seconds in each position, alternating back and forth about 10 times. Then we're going to do a lower trunk rotation to help get some rotation in the spine. So all you're going to do there, lie on your back, feet and knees together. We're just going to shift side to side. Right? You don't have to hold for very long. Just going to go back and forth. Keep trying to get a little further each time to get some rotation in the back there. Overall, both of those should take about 5 minutes together. Now last, we're going to do some activation exercises. We're going to mainly focus on activating the lower abdominals and the gluteus maximus. Those are going to be really important for supporting your back throughout your long day at the parks. So first, lie on your back with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and your lower back flat on the floor. You're going to put your hands right on either side of your stomach here. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, try to get all of the air out of your lungs as you pull your belly button down into the floor. And you should feel some muscles right under your fingertips here get really tight and hard. That's the activation of those lower abdominals that'll help support your lower back and your pelvis throughout your day at the park. So do that about 5 to 10 times depending on how long it takes you to really get those activated. Again, nice long deep breaths, trying to feel that tension under your fingertips. Okay? So once we've done that, we're going to move straight into the hip bridges. Now this is to get the hips activated so that they're working before we start walking throughout the park. So what you're going to do a slight tilt just like we did in the last exercise, and then you're going to push your hips up. Okay? And you should feel this right in your gluteus maximus, those hip muscles in the back. You'll hold this for 3 seconds, come back down. Same thing, get that little bit of a tilt, come up, hold 3 seconds, and come back down. So we'll do about 2 sets of 10 just like that, and you should feel strong contractions in your glutes and in your lower abdominals here. So if you're currently suffering from lower back pain, or it is something that you normally get when you walk for very long or are active for a very long time, this is going to be a really important routine for you to do before you go out into the parks when you have a safe area to lie on the ground and get all these exercises done. So do that to help manage your pain in the parks. Make sure you subscribe to get more videos like this on decreasing pain when you're going on your theme park adventures, and check out some other videos that we have to manage your pain while you're inside the parks during the theme park phase, because if we manage our pain and decrease our pain, it will make your experience just overall a lot better. It will improve your time in the parks because pain is not magical.